What if Deadpool and Wolverine turned into babies? How big would they be? What powers would they have? And how much chaos could they cause? Well, here's what we know. Both Deadpool and Wolverine share something in common, a powerful healing factor. That means even as babies they would still be extremely hard to hurt. Imagine two crawling infants who can recover from almost anything, from scraped knees to accidentally stabbing themselves with tiny claws. Speaking of which, when it comes to these adamantium-laced bone-slashing weapons, we know that for Wolverine, his claws are part of his mutation. In some alternate stories his powers show up when he's very young, so if he were a baby, those claws might pop out whenever he cried or got upset, which, could be a nightmare for anyone trying to babysit him. Just imagine being on the receiving end of tiny adamantium-coated claws swiping across your face because a baby Logan just did you and feel like being changed. Yikes. And that's just the beginning, because add his healing factor to the mix and UVA got a baby who quite literally could be stopped. A baby who would just keep coming back for more. Literally Wolverine. As far as size, since we're assuming that baby Logans would be around the same size as any other baby, say 20 inches long or about half a meter, and weighing around 7 pounds or about 3.2 kilos. Now let's turn our attention to Baby Deadpool. Unlike Wolverine, Deadpool got his healing powers from an experiment later in life. So technically, as a true baby, he wouldn't have powers yet. But if we imagine Deadpool magically turned into an infant while keeping his abilities, then you'd have the most chaotic baby ever. Picture a diaper-wearing Wade Wilson trying to sword fight with toy rattles and using his severed thumb to play the ultra-realistic I Spy game, because if anything happened to him he'd just grow it back. It'd probably take a few minutes and he'd complain loudly the whole time, but at least he'd be fine. Plus, he'd make constant baby jokes that nobody could understand, but somehow everyone would find hilarious. At least that's what Wade would claim. Size-wise, we're thinking Baby Deadpool would be pretty average, maybe even a bit bigger. After all, Wade's always been pretty beefy, so let's go with 22 inches or about 56 centimeters long and weighing around 8 pounds or 3.6 kilos. Okay, so now that we've established their size and weaponry, let's talk about their powers and personalities. For Baby Wolverine, it's all about that healing factor and those claws. As we mentioned, his claws would be a nightmare for anyone trying to change his diaper, but they'd also be a great defense mechanism. Just try stabbing this baby. And as for his healing factor, well, it's basically Wolverine's superpower. He can recover from almost any injury in seconds, which means he'd be the perfect candidate for any risky medical procedure. As for personality, Baby Logan's would probably be pretty grumpy. After all, being experimented on by Weapon X isn't exactly a walk in the park. That healing factor might have something to do with it too. It is possible that the same thing that makes him so hard to kill also makes him super cranky. As for Baby Deadpool, well, he'd be a handful for sure. His healing factor alone would make him a walking medical miracle. And if he had his swords, well, let's just say you'd need to keep an eye on him at all times. Personality-wise, Baby Deadpool would be a lot like his comic book counterpart. Super goofy, constantly breaking the fourth wall and making jokes that only he understands. But don't let that fool you. Underneath that adorable exterior is a ruthless killing machine who will stop at nothing to get what he wants. Like a bottle of milk or maybe just a little bit of sleep. Alright, now that we've got the lowdown on these pint-sized powerhouses, it's time to answer the ultimate question. Which baby would be more fun to hang out with? Well, that's a tough one. On one hand, you've got Baby Wolverine, the ultimate bad boy with his killer claws and healing factor. Or on the other hand, you've got Baby Deadpool, the potty-trained psychopath who can't be killed and has swords for fingers. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide which baby you'd rather hang out with. Just be careful. Whichever baby you choose, you're in for a wild ride.